All right, be sure to catch that report by investigative reporter Dennis Onsarigo tonight. Now, let's get back to the top story we had at this particular hour, and is members of parliament now calling for the resignation of Education Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i over the mass failure in this year's KCSE examination results that were released just about a week ago. And our reporter Jeff Kirui was at that particular press briefing that was called by Mark Nyamita, Member of Parliament for Uriri, among others. He's now joining us live with that particular update. Jeff, what are some of the complaints that these MPs have against the Education Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i?
Well, very good afternoon, Akisa. Indeed, some of the NASA MPs led by the Uriri Member of Parliament as well as the Saboti Member of Parliament calling for the resignation of Dr. Fred Matiang'i, the CS for Education, over the term as mass failures in the the recently released KCSE results. Remember, out of 610,000 candidates who sat for that particular exam, over 500,000 actually, will not make it to join public universities under the public universities placement system. And of course, right now, maybe Mheshimiwa Mark will tell us what exactly they intend to do, or what they are planning, if they are planning to table any motion in Parliament to have the member of the CS for Education, Dr. Fred Matiang'i, to resign. Mheshimiwa, welcome to KTN News. What are some of these remedies you want regarding the perceived failures in the education system, the just released KCSE results?
We cannot have, what we are saying, we cannot have an education, an examination whereby only about 10% are the ones who make it to the university. There is a problem either with the teachers, either with the exam, or the marking in itself. So what we are actually calling for is a proper audit of the whole examination process, so that we are able to identify where the problem actually is. We have over 500,000 children whose future now hangs in the balance. Last year the same, this year, if we go on like this, in the next 5 years, we're going to have over 3 million people, young people, who do not know where exactly they are going to go. When you begin to see cases of students beginning to commit suicide, it's because they are shocked. Results world over have to be standardized, and they have to be harmonized so that it goes on through the normal curve. This is not happening. So one, we have petitioned the Speaker to recall the House to discuss this issue of education as a matter of agency. And we have very many options. Once we have, we want an independent audit to be taken through Kenya National Examination Council to determine where the problem actually is. But we have very many options. If Matiang'i is failing to deliver on his duties, he might as well just go home. We cannot be a country that is in a hurry to release results. We are not in a hurry with the future of our children. And this is what we are saying. So Matiang'i needs to slow down. He needs to completely slow down. And he needs to tone down his excitement. This is what we are talking about. These children and this country is far much bigger than one Dr. Matiang'i. And if he is incapable of performing his duties where he is actually for sure will go home. And this is an issue that is cutting across. There is no political affiliation in this issue.
Does anyone in your group intend to table an impeachment motion in Parliament of Dr. Fred Matiang'i?
Like I have said, those are cards that are on the table. But we want to first give due diligence an opportunity, because we want to do it the right way. So we want first an audit to determine where exactly the problem is, because probably the problem is cutting across Matiang'i and all the other people. Yeah, so but impeaching Matiang'i will not take us even 2 days. He will go home. Yeah.
There is also another issue about the mass transfers of head teachers and teachers in those secondary schools. I don't know, what are your thoughts on the same?
We equally have a big problem. You cannot continue to pick good teachers and taking them to your own background. And good teachers is teachers who are from schools that are performed. They are all being taken to Nyamira, Kisii, and all those things in the name of delocalizing, teaching. Teachers from particular backgrounds, if you have a teacher who is from Western, he must not work within his own area. But within that particular area, he is better placed to understand the challenges that bedevil the parents around that area. I was giving an example. In my home county, for example, in my own constituency, I know of teachers who have accepted maize and beans and food items from parents in exchange for fees, because this is what the parents can be able to actually afford. So when you bring someone who is not going to be able to gel with the community, then we're going to have a problem. And this is what we're talking about. So you cannot. Another thing, there is the issue of this new curriculum that is actually being introduced. If you didn't know, this new curriculum, they have only developed content up to class 3. Yet they want to roll it out. What is this so much? Where does Matiang'i want to go? Which hurry is this that he is having? So we are saying we need to go slow. This is education. This is the future of our children. We also want to move away from the era where university education was for a selected few. We want to demystify it. We want to make it possible that our children can also know, I will work hard and go to university without anyone interfering with me here. And these are the issues that we're actually having.
Well, Akisa, those are just some sentiments from some of the NASA leaders regarding the recently released KCSE results. Maybe I'll just try to talk to Mheshimiwa Caleb Amisi from Saboti to give us also his views as well regarding the same issues. Mheshimiwa, out of the 610,000 candidates who sat for the KCSE results, which were released a month ago.
Yes.
Now there is another number, 214,000 who are actually below D-. Yes. What is the future for these kids?
That's the question. That's the question you're asking. 200,000. You know, that is a great number. They are going to miss anywhere. They're not going to go to technical. They're not going to go to even private. They are nowhere. They're actually going to be robbers. They are going to be, you know, street urchins. So we are creating a lot of insecurity in this country by allowing so many young people to just, you know, the education is the best equalizer in a society. It brings some of us that are in parliament because of education. Otherwise, we could be Shamba boy. If we did not got a chance to go to Stare, because I scored an A, I went to Stare. Otherwise, I could be a Shamba boy. So if you are telling this boy that now you are 200 people, you are not going to advance your education, where are they going? Ask yourself that question, where are they going? Yeah, definitely they are going to be robbers. You know?
Well, like you said, those are some of the sentiments from the NASA leaders regarding the KCSE results. Yeah. But of course, I'll hand you back in studio as we follow it up, as we follow up this story, saying that they will table a motion in Parliament to have Dr. Fred Matiang'i impeached. Akisa.
Jeff Curry there for